Good morning. You are tuned into Raven Radio, KCAW in Sitka. My name is Brooke Schaefer, and I'm in the studio this morning for the morning interview with two guests, Natalie Armstrong and Tara Racine. Thank you both for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I think I've got the right microphones on. Excellent. Natalie Armstrong is the Alaska Conservation Foundation intern here for the summer, and Tara is the program coordinator for Alaskans Own. So we're here to talk a little bit about Alaskans Own, but before we dive into that, I wanted to ask Natalie, what exactly is an Alaska Conservation Foundation intern? What are you doing?
Yes. So I am a rising senior at Pitzer College, so I am here to continue my research for my senior thesis on microplastics in the ocean.
Okay, so a very big topic right now, and certainly one that people here are aware of. And then you also then just do work for the Alaska Conservation Foundation, which has some crossover with Alaskans Own. Is that right?
Yes, so I'm an intern for them, but I'm working here at the Alaska Longline Fishermen's Association, so I am doing program and outreach.
Wonderful.
For Alaskans Own.
Okay, great. And then Tara, so you are the program coordinator for Alaskans Own, so you're probably keeping that machine running. Tell us a little bit about how did you come to this that position?
Sure. So I came to Sitka first and foremost as a AmeriCorps Vista with Sitka Tribe of Alaska and the Southeast, the ocean research. So I did the ocean acidification and some of the harmful algae bloom lab work, and I connected with Alpha. I had my one-way ticket back home to Massachusetts, and about 2 weeks before I was going to leave, it was just serendipity and worked out with Alpha, and I was very interested in the Alaskans Own program. It really caught my attention, especially with the local food movement and promoting local small boat fishermen, and so I jumped onto that program as well.
Cool. And sort of related, you were working with the oceans before, and you're working with them now.
And my parents have a small oyster farm in Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
Related to seafood.
Absolutely. So you're familiar with this whole world.
In a way.
Yeah.
Very different from fishermen, but in a way.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Alaskans Own. I think a big piece of what we wanted to chat about was community-supported fisheries, or CSFs. And Natalie, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just begin by saying that 2019 is a really important year for Alaskans Own because we are celebrating our 10th year anniversary as Alaska's first community-supported fishery, or CSF. And CSF runs pretty similarly to a CSA, or community-supported agriculture, as you might imagine. While a CSA is working towards bridging farm to table, what a CSF does and what us at Alaskans Own do is we are bridging between ocean to table. And we do this through our shareholder program. So every month our shareholders can pick up a 5, 10, or 20 pound share of seafood, and this is locally caught, sustainable, and of course high quality seafood. And they can pick it up from our 5 CSF locations, and that is in Sitka, of course. It is in Anchorage, Juneau, Fairbanks, and Seattle.
Oh, wow. So it's a big CSF. It's not just here in Sitka. It's based out of Sitka, and your fisher folk are all here in Sitka, the people that the fish come from?
Yes, predominantly, yeah.
Okay, but then it gets distributed through Southeast.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great concept. It makes so much sense in Sitka where we have this, we don't have agriculture, but we have this ocean with all this wonderful fish. So maybe you can tie that, Tara, to Alaskans Own. So just tell us the story of how this began, the CSF began here in Sitka. How did Alaskans Own get started?
Sure. So like Natalie said, it was the first CSF in Alaska. We don't know where we rank as far as nationally, but we at least can confirm that we are the first for Alaska.
Cool.
And it is a shared program between ALPHA, Alaska Longline Fishermen's Association, and Alaska Sustainable Fisheries Trust. There was a few motivations for creating this program to provide some local wild-caught fish, especially the single-caught hook and line wild fish, to locals to keep seafood here in Alaska, because most of it is sent outside of the state. I think it's like 2%. It's something pretty small that stays here. And so That was part of it. Part of it is promoting flash frozen, which has a lot of benefits. It creates a longer shelf life for the fish. It is high quality. It allows fishermen to sell their fish outside of the season, and so there's more opportunity. There's more availability for the consumers themselves. So if you want maybe coho in the winter, you can have coho in the winter, and it's still that high quality. And we also just wanted to provide tools to the local fishermen. We have like a marketing toolkit, and there's a lot of outreach that goes into it. So it's also part of a broader program to just promote local fishermen and the product.
It sounds fantastic, and it sounds quite robust. It sounds like it's a big program. But I think that it also is kind of spearheading or it's connected to other programs, if I understand correctly. I know the Fishery Conservation Network is in there somehow. Mm-hmm. So, Natalie, maybe you can talk a little bit about how Alaskans Own connects to some of these other projects. I know, Tara, you mentioned Alpha and ASFT as well, but so maybe just connect some of those dots for us.
Yeah, of course. So I'll just begin with Alaskans Own mission and our model, and we really emphasize supporting our coastal communities, and we're collaborating with fishermen. And we are promoting sustainable fishing practices and then, of course, providing high-quality seafood. And this is then ties into the all-encompassing term of why we run. It's off of sustainability. Every CSF is sustainable in its own sense. This is both economically and then ecologically. So you need, obviously, a sustainable economic model in order to stay afloat. And then you need a sustainable ecological model in order to, protect and not destroy. And this is why all of the profits to Alaskans Own, our CSF, goes towards the Fisheries Conservation Network. And this is an offshoot of ALPHA, the Alaska Longline Fishermen's Association. And what FCN does is they are facilitating cooperative research and collaboration between scientists and researchers and fishermen in order to, research fisheries conservation and those practices.
I can mention a couple of the projects. So,
Great.
Some of the projects we have going are a fuel efficiency audit, an online audit for the Fishery Conservation Network. There's also a sperm whale avoidance program that's in the works right now. There is the seafloor mapping bathymetry project, and so that is to reduce hotspot bycatches and also for fishermen to get a better overview of the landscape under the water. And another one is just different data to reduce the rockfish bycatch, so more rockfish. So the money very much goes back into the fishermen. So it's the seafood is coming from the fishermen, and then it's going back into that same fleet to improve the fishing practices and, like Natalie said, the sustainability model that we're trying to promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like it's very much focused on not just sustainability of the project, but the ecology, making it so that fishing can continue to happen for
healthy fisheries. Yeah,
right.
And continue it in the future.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. So I'm sure people are sort of curious how they can learn more, or if they can in some way get involved with Alaskans Own or any of these projects. So maybe we could give some phone numbers or a website, or let people know how to connect with you.
So, definitely check out our website, alaskansOwn.com. You can also reach out to our email, which is alaskansOwnfish@gmail.com. And as always, you can call us or stop by the office. We're 907-747-3400, or we are in the Island Institute building, 304 Baranoff Street.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Tara Racine and Natalie Armstrong, for both coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for helping us and listeners learn a little bit about Alaskans Own. You are tuned into Raven Radio, KCAW, here in Sitka. Good morning.
Rural Alaska communities suffer some of the highest rates of violence and lawlessness in the country. Many villages have no local law enforcement and can wait days for state troopers to reach them to assist. Recently, U.S. Attorney General William Barr visited Southwest Alaska communities and pledged millions in emergency funds to begin addressing the problem. We'll ask what else is needed on the next Talk of Alaska.
Tuesday morning,